Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very glad to be here. I should tell you, I have three firsts. The first is I'm the first time to be in Portland because I was told Portland is a floating city. Do you know that? Maybe you don't know that. I was told. The second first, I'm the first to be the actor to give the presentation. I'm waiting for the backstage for several minutes, and they gave me the last minute, you should go on. The second first. The third first is for Chinese delegation. We are the first to attending this conference. So I'm happy to share and to talk about Chinese situation because a lot of talking about, they don't mention your country or your organization. What did you do? But I will say something about the Chinese classical thinking and about Chinese in the last decades, what we do, and introduce something about that. And also, I will share you our research and my consideration about floating. Flotation therapy is one of the restricted environmental stimulation therapy. It has half-century history. Floating as pleasure method is focused by the whole world, facing the area which it is entering the state of humanism as the center thinking to the world, mental health as well as physical health important to the people. Developing the flotation therapy is highly significant for China and the world. I will talk about four parts. The first part is the history and the development of floating therapy in China. China is a 5,000-year civilization history country in the world. Chinese people is a nation which is particularly about harmony, no dominating world, wish to live and work in peace, hope to realize a community of common destiny. I think this is a Chinese classical thinking. And in the first medical book, this is a very famous medical book, it's about 2,000 years ago. The name of the book we call Inner Canon of Huangdi. This is the emperor. There's a dialogue between the emperor and his people. In this book, it says somatic and spiritual harmony was written. It means that people should be in the state of health, both in body and mental. This is the same principle with flotation therapy, which aim is for the people's good spirit and comfort body. In 26 years ago, in 1991, when I was in Long Island of New York as a medical doctor to study clinical psychology in State University of New York at Stony Brook, I unexpectedly find a flotation center. In that flotation room, I was accepted to have an experience with floating. It was amazing feeling, like a story, just you listen it before, the same amazing feeling. From that time, I made a full willing to create one of the flotation tank in China. In 1997, Professor Dong Bozhang and Ms. Zhu Yan manufactured a first flotation room, which was set up in the second Beijing hospital. Since that time, several research and clinical work were engaged for flotation in China. At that time, CCTV and many newspapers reported this new idea, floating. You can see this is, this is in the newspaper of Beijing News. This is a report. And second, this is a very famous newspaper we call Health. This is a very famous newspaper in the medical newspapers. And they said, I bring the flotation therapy in China. And so there's a lot of reported about the flotation therapy. Now in this part, I will share with you 4 things. The first thing is Chinese, how to think about the floating. We have the following understanding about the flotation. The first one, we think that flotation can be as one method of psychotherapy. We can combine with hypnosis, music, and positive therapy into floating. So we call floating as flotation therapy. This is, we are thinking the first character. The second, we think about the flotation is during the process of floating, Chinese massage is combined into floating as a necessary step. People who want the massage will feel more comfortable after each floating. The third character is Chinese medicine and herbs can be used in this therapy. We made one of drinking liquids. That one is partner floating for people who want to drink before floating. The fourth character, I think this is a new thing, hydrogen-rich water is now put into the floating water mixed with magnesium sulfate, so there will be more benefit because everything knows hydrogen has the effect of antioxidant that is good for prevention cancer. We are doing the experiments recent months and we hope to get good results. This is, I'm thinking, the first thing. The second thing, I will report the advanced equipment of flotation. Through more than 20 years practice, the 10th generation flotation equipment are made in China. There are several characters. One is intelligentized. The whole equipment can be long distance control, operating easy and more safety. This is our 10th generation equipment. And the second is multifunction. In a flotation tank, there will be breathing, light, projection, entertainment system. So in floating, we can do the video therapy, VR therapy, and so on. The third character is this flotation tank can have a different specification. Floating metal should be sealed with different custom who should have different needs. So this is for family. And also this is a certification and a test for liquids. And this patents for unique model. The third things in this part, I will talk about the personnel of flotation therapy enlarged. In the recent 20 years, flotation room and tanks are set up into the Chinese hospital, beauty center, patient institution, deep compress center, psychological counseling center, and so on. We suggested in China, maybe we have more than 500 flotation rooms or tanks set up in China. This is our leader to attending and to investigate our floating center. And in January 27 this year, Association for Flotation Therapy was set up. I am the chair of this association, and Dr. Zhu is the Secretary General. We welcome you to visit China and share with your experience. This is our website. Please, you can look at this website and then to know what our working is on. The third thing I will report is occupation standards or setup. The standard for the people, for the occupation, we set up 3 levels. The first level is the primary therapist. They can operate the equipment and have the basic communication with the capacity. The second grade we call the secondary therapist. They can do hypnosis, music therapy, as well as Chinese massage to the client or the patient. The third one is a senior therapist. They can do the supervisor, research, and the training to the primary and the secondary therapist. And also, we are discussing the different standards like flotation liquids and the flotation tanks and the flotation rooms. Okay, now you can see the video, introduce the whole thing. Okay. The second part I will report is the research of flotation therapy in China. The first one is I want to report the research to hypertension with flotation therapy. 30 patients who suffered from the hypertension were collected into the treatment by flotation therapy in Beijing Second Hospital. 16 people as treatment group, 14 people as a control group. 4 times of flotation therapy were given. The treatments were taken in the patient the first week, second week, third week, and the 7th week. Blood pressure was tested each time after treatment. The result is the effective rate is nearly 70%. The control group only 14%. The mental state improved, especially hostility, compulsion, paranoid state were reduced. The third one, I think is important one, is as our speakers before that, transformation rate of lymphocyte. That means the immune system increased in the treatment group, which was different significantly. you can see the different journals. The second work is the influence of the university students' attention ability. 53 university students were chosen and divided into 5 groups. Group 1 was control group. The other 4 groups are flotation group. Group 2 is only by music and relaxation. The grade 3 is by the music. Grade 4 by the relaxation. Grade 5 is no stimulation. So we use the text form to test it for the students. We find the T5, that means attention, distribution, and transfer. This time, after the flotation, shortened, and control group, no change. Male groups are better than female group. You can see the journals. Okay, so I will same time. The third research is about the influence to reduce pressure and improve the mental state. 41 university students were chosen to be the treatment group, and also 4 times experience of flotation. SAS, SDS, EQ, EPQ, SAL9 was tested after each floating. The rate of anxiety and depression, hostility, somatic symptoms were decreased significantly. However, the function of relaxation to the people's body were clearly seen after flotation therapy. This is my second part to report. The third part, I will report the theories and the operation of flotation therapy. I think before a lot of speakers talk about different kind theories and find some results. From our research, I think the theories and operation to flotation therapy should be highly pay attention in our profession practice. And then more common people can trust this method and use it widely in their lives, such as relaxation, promoting health. I think this is our goal and expectation. In our practice of this method, I think there are certain effects by flotation therapy. The first one, I hope to report to you 3 curative effects as follows. The first is psychological effects. In the psychological effects, they have focus on the inner stimulation, suggestibility increased, insight strength, visual performance increase. I don't describe in detail. The second effect is physical effects. We can find high buoyancy, high erasing, body boundary disappear, and the weight item faded. The third is medical effects. In medical effects, we can find eliminating intense memory strength, pain reduced. The patient story also talk about the pain reduced. And the fourth is consciousness blank. This is, I'm talking about the first 3 curative effects. And from Chinese thinking, the indication of the flotation therapy can be used in the following aspect. The first, I think, is a very, very common aspect is to be relaxation. The second is neurosis. The third is psychosomatic disease, such as hypertension, coronary disease, diabetes, pregnancy women, and so on. And also we can put into the learning ability, race, athlete training, sleeping disorder, beauty center, and the body shop. This is, I'm thinking about the indication of the flotation therapy. And the third one, I think also very important, how to operation the flotation therapy. For some of the clients who want to receive psychotherapy which can make them feel better, our thinking is that professional flotation workers should be trained in different aspects, including psychotherapy, massage, and so on. This is a special situation in China because we trained about 1 million psychological counselings in China, but so many people couldn't have their work focus on the psychotherapy. But we can ask them, so many people, they don't have work, we ask them to attending our training and to study how to operate flotation therapy, join in our fields. That is a better thing. So now we have the basic thinking to flotation center. The flotation center should be divided into 4 areas. So this is our thinking. We should divide our flotation equipment, flotation place into 4 areas. The first area is talking area. In this area, the person wants to get flotation. The therapist can provide a talking with them, him or her, asking the patient, what's your problem? And a brief assessment, and the primary intervention, and the final to tell the guidance of floating. This is, I think, the first area. The second area is dressing area. We all know that. The third area is the floating area. Also, you also know that. The fourth area we call message area. We also can call recognized area. That means in this area is after flotation, shower, dressing, finished, people can get the massage. And also in the last, before goodbye, we can give some summarized talking. I think this is very, very important. So we give the suggestion in our flotation area, we have the 4 area, 4 rooms, 4 space to have a more good result. The last one, I will report the future of flotation therapy. Flotation can give the common people happy experience and a good feeling, but we have to do more work as follows. The first one is depth research. There are many unknown mechanisms to flotation therapy, such as how to improve the person's mental state. Is it possible that flotation therapy can be one of the better psychotherapy? If the psychotherapy in a different way, the person have the talking as usual in the room, but this psychotherapy in the water, like in the outer space or mother's womb, will be micro occur. The second thing I think is we hope to get certificate by medicine. We have a dream that flotation therapy will get the certificate by medical authority. I think in China it takes several years, but we hope to wait that day. Floating will be benefit to the human being's health. Flotation service industry will enter the new area. General speaking, we hope to operate with you, the whole world's experts, to develop floating in order to bring benefit to Chinese and the whole world. Thank you very much.